Okay, so we'll crack on then. Thank you very much. Welcome to today's webinar session, just on the commercial aspects of Aerotrac. If I could just ask you all, please to mute your microphones and also to turn off your video feeds. I know that some people may have issues with bandwidth, so that just helps with this, if you don't mind. And also we are using the chat function as well. If you have any questions throughout, I've got my colleague Andy who will be monitoring that. Also to remind you all and let you all know that we are recording these sessions, so they will be also going up onto our YouTube channel later on once we've sort of edited it down a bit. So the aim of this session is to get an overview of some of the commercial functions within Aerotrac. And we're going to look specifically at sort of the sales quote and ordering module, and the selling prices, how those can be set quickly, and also looking at some project estimates. So if everyone is happy, I will now share my Aerotrac. So if everyone could just confirm they can see, just a thumbs up or something, or a yes in the chat, that you can see my screen with the demo company set up. Perfect, thank you. Okay, so what we're going to look at first is the sales orders. So over on the left-hand side, we've got the normal menu, and in the commercial section, we have this drop down, and we've got sales quotes and orders. We just click on that. And this will bring us up to and open up the first window. So basically, you can quickly easily click on add new quote, sales quote, and click OK. Oh, sorry, I've got to select a customer first. So select our customer, and then this obviously now allows us to add some new items and brings up a general sort of initial screen here. Okay, I will just cancel that because I have set one up already. But something just to make you aware of, if you are using the screen, on the bottom right hand corner here, you can have where you see all customers, and that will basically allow you to show any sort of open sales quotes and everything for everyone. So it's a quick way of sort of seeing who's still got open quotes. You can also reduce that down by, within the last 6 months or the last month and things like that.
Warwick, are you able to just make your screen a little bit bigger by minimizing the ribbon at the top, maybe?
Okay, yes, sorry, yeah.
And maybe just enlarging the screen a little bit.
Does that help at all? Okay, no problem. Okay, so here we've got for our first customer. So we've got this sales quote, which I've prepared in advance. So you can just double click on the items, and then it'll bring you to the order details. So this is the front end details for this particular quote that we set up. And you can add any kind of details here that you need. Order comments, so those will go and be printed on the actual quote that's sent to the customer. But you've also got internal quotes and comments here, which are displayed on picking lists if there's anything special that you need to do about this particular order and is internally specific. If we go on to the parts tab here at the top, here, this is where you can add your parts, and here I've added this specific part. Literally click on edit quote and add a new item, and then that will allow you to then search and add for a new part as you would normally do with anything within Aerotrac. So I'll just cancel that out. So we've added this particular O-ring here. And what you can also see here as part of the quote is this will detail all your free stock if you've got any stock available to sell, and also the specific batches that you've got. The other good thing as well is it also shows you how much each of those items cost per batch, and gives you a margin calculation here, all based on this unit price that we've got down in the bottom. Again, you can change any of this unit price to whatever you want. However, this has specifically been brought in from the selling price that has been set up against that particular part number. So if I just quickly come out of this screen, and I can show you where that is set as well. So in the finance tab here, we've got this selling price. So we click on this, and then if we put in that part number AS3209-009, we've got here where we've got the selling price. So this is where this has been pulled through from. Okay, so you can do this for all your parts that you want to change specific, and also for any maintained parts, you can set exchange prices as well, and those will pull through onto things like the project estimates, which we'll go through a bit later as well. Okay, so we'll quickly go back to our quote, which we can just quickly see through all the customers. Double click, and there we go, and it's brought it back up, and here we've got. What we can also do as well is there are settings within the customer details as well. So here we've got specifically customer 1 selected. If we were to head over to the administrator module and look at the customer details and open that up, and we select customer 1, we go to this accounts tab here as well. Here we can see where some of the options are for selling price and part prices. So at the minute, we're using the selling price. So from that selling price screen that we saw earlier, this is where that price is being pulled from. However, there are options to sort of say, if you've got different batch costs or values, you can
Warwick,
set
can you
those
just,
here as well.
sorry, Warwick, can you just expand the screen again and
Oh,
close the
sorry.
ribbon?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Okay, sorry, yeah. So we've got these options here, which all sort of can affect how the part pricing is applied when you do raise your quotes, and also any uplifts. If you want to sort of add a specific percentage increase for a customer, that can be set here as well, and that will then automatically be pulled through onto the quotes as well. Okay. So we'll just hop back over to the sales quotes here. Okay. So here, obviously, it's showing that we've got 7,120 free stock of those items, and these are the different quantities of the different batches based on our our unit price that we're selling it at, plus the VAT. We've got our different margins here. Again, like I said, we can change this. So we change this to £3. It will change the values, the margins as well, so you can quickly work out if you're making any money on those parts. And then we can just save that. Okay. So once you've got that all listed, you can very quickly just email it out, preview it, and then that's what you can then send over to the customer. And it should just look something like this. I'll try and zoom in a bit more for you on that. Okay. And it's basically just a standard quote with all the details. You know, it's also giving you how many is available. So if they wanted more than one or however many, then we can show them that as well. Okay. And using the email button, we can quickly just email that to the customer based on the customer contact details, and it will automatically generate the PDF and attach that to it. And then you can just review it before sending it as well. Then when the customer comes back and says, yes, thank you very much, you can then very easily come back into your quote and then convert that to an order just through this button down at the bottom, convert quote to order. We can just click on that. Are you sure you wish to convert it to an order? Yes, we are. Okay. And then what this will also do is automatically allocate any free stock that's available. So basically, because you've said you've got free stock, the system's going, do you wish to allocate this to this particular order? We can click on yes. And so now it basically wants us to look and select. So it's allocated one of those items for us. Okay. Obviously, you can change which batch you want, but it will automatically allocate that for you. Okay. If we go to the order details tab at the top here, we've got this this clever area down here, which we've got some shortcuts. And this as well, it allows you to quickly access multiple areas within the system from this sales order screen. So we can go onto the allocations. If we want to allocate one, we can select which batch we wanted it from. Quantity 1, that's allocated for that batch. Okay. And then we can come out of there. You can also have a look at the order status, and then here, this is where it shows you where we're up to as well. So one's been required, one's been allocated, but nothing's been picked yet. Okay. Also down, you can see what that batch allocation was as well. Again, back in the order details in the shortcuts tab, we can now pick that item. So this order has items allocated. Do we wish to import them? Yes, we do. Okay, warning. So obviously this is a life limited item, so there's a life warning that pops up. And there we go. That's automatically pulled everything through, linking everything together with all the batch details. We can then save that. And we can confirm that that has been picked. Yes. Okay, and again, you can generate all your patch labels and everything down there. So that's all been picked. We can come out of there. And if we go back to the order status, here we go. We can see that one has been picked. And here we've got the picking list that it's been allocated to. Right. If we need to then do anything else, if we need to generate a packing list for shipping, we can do that here as well. We've also got any part certificates or release certificates that need to be raised, particularly for this specific part. But we'll go into those in some other webinars later on, because we're just looking at the commercial side. So we want to generate a sales invoice because we're going to send the invoice with the item in the packing slip. So we can just click on sales invoice, basically pulls everything through. Here you still got the option to change any prices. So should for whatever reason you need to change anything, you can do that. You can invoice as ordered by clicking this button here, or actuals in case there's been any changes to that. You can also see at the top you've got these tabs again, what part was issued, and any miscellaneous charges you wish to apply. So if we want to add an AOG charge or a freight charge, we can add those here as well and set those to whatever we want as well. So we can set that and add that on. Okay. And then we just can save that. Yes. Okay. So that's now the invoice has now been set, and we can then authorize the invoice. Okay. Okay, and then obviously finance department can then post that invoice once it's been sent to the customer or as part of their finance process. And that is basically what the commercial elements look like for the basics of buying and selling of parts. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of what is available. There's a lot more functions, a lot more details, which we can set up in sort of, like I say, the customer details or defaults, depending on what the value is and the stock movement types, all that kind of stuff. And that's all can be generated through the system. Okay. So what we're going to look at now is sort of more on the MOR side. And here we're going to look at is an MRO quote, which will lead on to an estimate. So what we can do is literally, you can just add a quote here, and we can add a maintained only aircraft. So this, we're going to do a hangar project, and it's for just a maintained aircraft that we've been asked to do. And then we can select the aircraft details. It knows the customer and everything and pulls that through automatically. And if we've got any details, we can add those manually so that we need to, just through these tabs across the top. Here it sees what we've already got in the system. However, what we can also do is carry out an import of tasks as well. Should this be from a third party and they just want us to carry out some work? So we can go to this labor charges tab, and down here we've got this import task button. So we can click on that. Here's what I prepared earlier. We can just select an Excel spreadsheet that's been set up, and this will import the tasks that have been asked for us to do here. Okay. And with each of these tasks as well, we've got some defined hours. And because we've got some rates set up for this particular customer, customer number 2 here, if we go back to that administrator module, we select customer 2, we look at, and here we can see what the standard rates are here. So it's pulled all that through for that specific customer. And here it's given us a value, and we can then basically save that and send that off to the customer. I'm just going to cancel that for now because I have got one already set up for this demo. So where were we? Yeah, sorry, because we've already completed it. I need to go on here. Okay, so just ignore down here at the minute because this is one we sort of set up originally to sort of show you what it does look like, and then we can preview the quote, and that should just basically, that will pull through all the basics as well. Again, I'll just zoom in for you for this one. So it's got all the lines, it's got the hours and what our rates are and things like that for each item, and then at the very end we have the total values here. So it gives you so that's what we can quote and send that to the customer. So now that we've got that and sent that through to the customer says, thank you very much, we'd like to carry out the work. We can then go on to and generate a project. So because I've already completed this, there's a button down here, if you can see it, it says convert to planned arrival project. So that allows us to then just click on that and it would automatically pull through all the information for that. So if we have a look at that project now, which we've set up, 0651. Okay. And we can see that quote here is what we set up earlier. Okay. So in the project status, you've got a list of everything that we've got against this project. So we want to now raise an estimate. So the work's been done, and or the items arrived, it's been inspected and tested and things, and some items have already been, and defects have been found. So we need to now send the customer an estimate of what it's going to cost to actually fix what we've quoted, but also any additionals. So we can have a look at on commercial again, and here we've got project estimating. And if we have a look at project estimates, and here we've got this project estimate that we've already set up. But again, it's easy. All you need to do to add an estimate, just click on add estimate, and it will ask you to select what the project number is that you want to estimate. Clicked on the wrong button there, sorry. We'll go back to the project estimates, the one we set up earlier here. Okay, so currently this project's on hold because, like I said, this was set up in advance of this webinar just to sort of speed things up. But when you're ready and you complete an estimate and get it ready to and send it to the customer, you can set the project to hold, which will allow you to sort of stop any more time being booked, parts being added, or any edits to the material review being done. So here we've got all the items that we originally quoted. However, you'll notice that at the bottom here, one of the engineers has found a damaged panel that was, and they added that to their inspection workbench. And then via the material review, that was added and decided it was need to be replaced. So that unscheduled task has been added and is here, and it's been charged at the rework rate. But also you can see here it requires the customer approval. So what you can do, if we quickly go into the administrator module, in company setup, on your system options at the top, if we look for defects, here there's a system option under the MRO tab. So defects require customer approval before they can be actioned. Okay. So basically, this will basically any additional defects that are found during like the inspection stages or anything like that, you can have that sort of flag and tell you that you need that approval from the customer before you can move forward with that project. Okay. Also from that work here, those additional 2-hour rework, there was a part that was requested as well. So we needed that the engineer added this part as a replacement part that was required. And again, that passed through to the material review and then and got pulled through to this estimate. So here we can see the part, and again, the unit price here, that is automatically again being pulled through from that selling price. Here we can see it's an exchange unit as well. So again, if we look at this selling price screen and we type in, we look for that part number 6F2460V00751. Here you can see that it's automatically pulled that exchange price through automatically because it was already set up in the system. If we were just selling them or providing them with a brand new unit, then it would have pulled through this value here, this 5,000. From there as well, what we can also generate, sometimes the customer would prefer sort of more of a technical estimate sort of for their engineers. So here we've got this button here for technical estimates. We can just click on that. And here we can select all the items that we wish to pull through. There's also this technical summary here. If one of your engineers has provided sort of a more technical brief of what the issues are, that can be added here. And then we can generate a technical estimate from this screen. Whilst it just loads a second. So here we go, and then so again, reasons for changes, it pulls through any additional information, and it's more kind of on par for an engineer and to sort of review and accept. Again, and it pulls through, and here we can see what the additional parts and labour work costs as well are. So that's all been pulled through too. So the labour charge and that additional rework has all been pulled through. You can just then close that. And that's basically the estimate. So once you've done that, you can complete the estimate. So confirm completion of the estimate was complete. You'll not be able to add to the estimate or make any changing prices. So this is when you're happy and you're happy for it to go through to the customer. So we can click on yes. We can ask questions at the end, or if you'd like to ask any questions, you can just put them into the chat, and then Andy will either let me know if we need to look at something, or he might be able to answer your questions. Should the customer come back to you and say, oh, we want to change something, or we want to review the price or anything, you can uncomplete it, and then that will allow you to change anything. Or if there's any additional work that's come through onto material reviews, you can then synchronize the material reviews with the estimates. However, should the customer come back to you and say, yes, that's all good, thank you very much, we'd like to continue, you can then authorize the estimates. The authorize will then take and also confirm any new completion target dates. So it will so if you've got a time limit, we can add that, and then we can save that here. There are items with no quantity hours. Okay, so obviously it's just showing that there's some items which we haven't charged for, but it still lets you process forwards. And it's set the estimates and completed for the projects, and it will close down this estimate because, or should you have any additional estimates, so you say you've raised 2 or 3 estimates against that project, one's maybe on an AOG rate, one's based on parts which may you have in stock but are at a higher cost, you can provide multiple estimates to a customer, but once you've completed or confirmed one, the system will then cancel all those other estimates relating to this project and only go through with the one that you've authorized. Okay, obviously the project was put on hold whilst we were waiting for the customer to authorize this estimate, so we can release and reschedule, because obviously if it's taken them 2 weeks to come back to you, your scheduling might be out now, or we can just release the hold with the original dates in place, or we can leave it on hold should we wish to do that. So we'll just release the hold there. So this will then allow the system for people to now continue working on the project. So obviously once everything is done, all the work is completed, and the important thing for the finance people is to invoice. So if we go to the commercial section, and we've got invoicing, and we want to invoice a project that we've got, we want to add a new invoice, standard invoice. It was for customer 1 and their project number, hangar project 51, this one down here. And then, and then here you've got a button at the bottom where it says invoice as estimate. So obviously we provided that estimate, and we can just literally click on this button here, and then it will copy everything that we put on that estimate. Okay, it's asking us to confirm that. We can click yes. And basically it will have pulled through all those costs that we had, showing us all the labour costs, all the parts invoiced. So that part that was pulled through. And again, even at this stage, we can change those values should anything have changed at any point. We can look at what the project status is. And here we've got an invoice summary as well. So we've got the total hours, any rework hours, and what those values are, overhauled parts that we've got. So the full labour charge overhauled, what the cost is, invoice date. And here you can see what was estimated and what your invoice is as well. And it tells you what's the estimate, where that information was pulled from as well. Also on the invoice as well, you've also got all these check boxes here just to sort of either make it have as much information on it as possible, or you can reduce that down as well, just whatever your process is and how much information you want to send over to the customer. Okay. We can then save that. There are items on the bit with no quantities, so that's okay. And once it's saved, we can then preview that invoice. I'll zoom in for you. And here it provides a breakdown of that invoice that we're going to send to the customer. Okay. So that's a basic quick overview of sort of the estimating process and quoting and invoicing. So the basic commercial elements. One quick thing I would like to also just quickly show you is there's a new module as well that we've introduced, which is called Quick Quotes. Okay, which is an additional module here. And what it does is it allows you basically from this one screen, should you get a phone call or a customer come call you up wanting a very quick quote, you can quickly look at that in here, and it provides you, if you've worked on it before, it provides you with kind of your history, any setups you have within the capability management for those particular costs for repairing, overhaul, or inspecting. It gives you a good overview. You don't have to have your customer set up. If it's a brand new customer, you can just add them, add their details here. And we've also got this multi-part quote process as well. So sometimes customers may just send you a list of part numbers saying, can you repair any of these? So you basically click on that and be able to just import a multi-line item. Okay, so if I just quickly show you what we have. So here we can see this is a list of parts that customers has sent through to us, and what the system will do is it will generate this Excel spreadsheet for you, going through all those parts. If it finds it within your system, it will show you. If it's not in your system, it will say not found. And then also a key one as well for quality people, if it's on your capability. So whether you've approved it for capability or if it's still pending, giving your ETAs, and then your cost for repair, overhaul, and inspect and test for that. And that can all just be quickly generated from that, from this quick quote component. Like I say, the idea is that it can do it all from one screen. If you've got a salesperson who's interested and wants to just quickly get some costs over to a customer quickly and easily. Okay. Again, like I say, there's a lot of places where you can set your the sort of the values and things like that. So your work rates in personnel setup, you've got your department cost rates here. So again, those will all get pulled through if there's a specific department cost. And like I said as well, if we go back into the customer details, you've got your discounts and markups as well. You can set based on stocking groups. You can set all those here as well. Again, back into this account section, you can set your basic rates and your discount rates as well, or your markup rates. That can all be set in the customer details, and those will all get automatically pulled through. So you can either have it as default put by part or by department, or you can have it set by the customer, whichever way you wish to drive those costs for your business. Thank you very much for attending this session. What would be great if you could please provide some feedback for these sessions. All our sessions, you can provide any feedback. If you've attended previous ones, you can use the same code and the same form to provide some feedback for us, just to see if they're useful for you, if there's anything you would prefer to see in them, or they're all anonymous as well, so don't worry, you can say what you want. Very basic. I've put a link in the chat if that's easier, and there is also the QR codes. Like I did say, the sessions are recorded and they will be going up onto our YouTube channel. The last three we've done are up on our YouTube channel. So this will be going up in the next week or so. So if you have missed anything or just want to recap on anything, please feel free to go onto those.